Bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-da-dum dun 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 ba dun 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 ba dum bum bum ba dun. Every time I hit that high note, I say, "Okay, that's enough." That's ridiculous. I can't. That's not my register. Hello, my friends. Good evening. Good evening. It's so great to see all of you. Virginia and Connecticut and Texas and Colorado Springs and Kentucky and Wisconsin and Houston and Wichita. I love it. I just love it. Wonderful to see you all. Western Pennsylvania, Fort Myers, Florida, Maine. Hello, hello. Hello, Mighties. Hello, my friends from Facebook and many other sources now. We're on a number of platforms now. And so I ask that you please like and share and comment and subscribe. And think about, if you have not already been in any of my study groups, as you can see directly above my head, that's a gateway text. And so if you haven't already done it, then I urge you to do so. If you've done one already, do another one. Teach them. Oh, Singapore. Nice to see you from Singapore. Hi, Yana. And South Carolina. And hello from New Hampshire. It's wonderful to see New Zealand. Hi, Cheryl from New Zealand. South Carolina. It's just great to see everyone from all over our good earth. Wonderful to see you all. So my name is Joette Calabrese, for those of you who don't know me. We're here every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time for one thing and one thing only, and that is to learn, like goodness sakes, looks like I just fell asleep. And that is to show you what I know about homeopathy and hope that you'll use it and that you'll pass it on to your family members, etc. And for those of you who do know me, welcome, my friends. Welcome. Greetings, greetings. Hello from the hurricane state. So I guess that must mean that you're in Florida, because I know Florida's possibly going to be hitting in a couple of days. I think it's going to be, I think it's northwest Florida may be getting it. So some are hunkering down already. And I see everyone from coastal North Carolina, Jupiter, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Texas, Wayne, Indiana. Hello, hello, Naples, Florida, Ohio. Hello, everyone. Let's talk about what I promised we'd talk about, and that is addictions. We're on a kick for addictions, aren't we? Every week we're going to be talking about addictions. And so we've gone through a couple, right? We've gone through screen addictions and smoking weed addictions. And today we're going to talk about tobacco addiction, smoking. Now, it could be, doesn't have to be just smoking. It could also be chewing tobacco. It's not as prevalent in this part of the world as it is in other parts of the world, but it's the same thing. And so first I want to tell you a couple of things. There are a number of medicines that we can use to help someone quit smoking. And the most noteworthy, the one that most people think of when they think of how do we quit smoking, what's the main medicine, and that is caladium, C-A-L-A-D-I-U-M. And caladium is a very interesting medicine because it specifically has a kind of a, and I know this sounds odd, a kind of a sexual component to it. There is a craving for tobacco, but there's also, in men, there can be a craving for tobacco that's coupled with impotence. And that strange combination that seems as though they wouldn't be associated with each other, if that exists, my friends, then caladium, C-A-L-A-D-I-U-M, is usually the medicine. And we like to use caladium if it does fit that picture. If there is a craving for tobacco and an impotence, and also let me also say that it can also think of it when there's a drop in interest of sexuality as well as an ability sexually. So if we see that, do think of caladium, and we use it in the lower potencies. What are the lower potencies? 3s, 6s, 12s, X's rather than C's. So 6X. Even a 30X is rather low. I think of that as a low potency. Not quite as low as I'd like to see when we're using caladium. I like to see caladium used either in a 30X That's the highest, or down to say a 12x, something like that, 6x. And then when we use something like this, we're going to use it 3 times a day. That would be the way that I would see it being administered. So caladium, one of my favorites. But one of my favorites, if specifically there's that sexual component, okay? Now, let me say to you that we often see homeopathic pharmacies coming up with their own combination of medicines for a specific condition. There used to be a product, and maybe someone will find it now, called Smoke Stop. I'm almost positive it was called Smoke Stop. So if you find it, please share it with me tonight. I looked for it. I didn't find it readily, so I don't know if it's still available. But these combination medicines that the reputable pharmacies manufacture are often a combination of, say, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 homeopathic medicines. Quitter's Relief. Thank you, Leanne. These combination medicines are really valuable because they can make it super easy. Why take it apart and choose only one medicine or 2 medicines and make it a little harder on the person who's trying to quit smoking? Yes, you're right. Highland stopped making them. That's right. So I like the combination medicines because it's all in one pill. I mean, you take 3 or 4 pills as a dose, maybe 5 pills as a dose, but it's and it makes it so much easier. But if we can't find these products that are combined and called Smoke Stop, or as Leanne said, Quitter's Relief, it's such quitter. That's kind of a strange way. What kind of a quitter are you? But if you can find it all in one, by all means, I would recommend doing that. Particularly for someone who doesn't know anything about homeopathy, you're just working with them just to help them with this addiction to cigarette smoking or tobacco addictions. Someone just asked, what about vaping? If the person is vaping with tobacco, indeed, my friends, it could very well be exactly what's needed. So let me say that I love the companies that I like who manufacture combination remedies are Highlands. They're not making this product any longer. Highlands, OHM Pharma, for those of you who are my students or clients, they often make good combination products. Boron sometimes makes good combination products, but I've got a solution for that because they don't actually have one right now as a combination. Hahnemann Pharmacy, love them. Washington Pharmacy, Helios. These are the companies that if they make it, and also I'm going to tell you about another one that I don't talk about very often. If they make a combination medicine specifically for it, then by all means, that's what I would consider using. Now, not all homeopathic pharmacies are equal. So there are times when I don't like certain homeopathic pharmacies, and I don't know that I could even tell you who they are. But I will tell you that Dr. Let's get back down to this. Dr. Reckeweg from Germany, I trust as well. And they have a combination medicine, and it is a combination of 5, I think it's 5, is it 5 remedies? Yes, 5 homeopathic medicines. So Dr. Reckeweg, I always hesitate to say you can buy it on Amazon, but I know that you can. If you can find it in another fashion, going directly to their website, that I would go that route. Now, Dr. Reckeweg is usually in liquid. They don't sell pills for many of their products. And so their dosage is 20 drops in some water 3 times daily. And that's the way I would use most of these. 3 times per day. Whatever remedy I'm discussing right now, I would use it 3 times a day. Why not twice a day? Why not once a day? Because most of these medicines are low potency, and when we use a low potency, it often doesn't last as long. But it's good to use it in a low potency so it can be used more frequently and catch the person just when they're having that craving again. It's repeated. So 3 times a day, meaning 3 times of waking hours. Okay? So Dr. Reckewig, I have to tell you, and we're going to go back to boron in a few minutes, but Dr. Reckewig's product is for withdrawal symptoms in general. Some people have, withdrawal in which they're nervous. Some people have withdrawal in which they want to eat. Some people have withdrawal in which they have a headache or nausea. Some have pain in the stomach. And some even actually have constipation. Yes. And so I like the way they've put this together. It not only knocks out the craving, but it also can help detox. And there does have to be some detox going on here. And so their particular product contains agaricus, and they say D5, D meaning the decimal system, which means 5X. Because it's a company made outside of the U.S., they have different ways of saying what we already know. It has agaricus 5X. It includes echinacea 10X, and they write it as 10D. Or D10, sometimes 10D. Natrum chloratum and robinia and tabacum. Now, I find that by using the actual substance, and we use it homeopathically, that can often help as well. So my favorite medicines in all of these, and let's not do that yet. Let me go back again because I want to talk to you about what boron is doing. Boron, B-O-I-R-O-N, and I really like the way they've put this package together. They've not combined it in one medicine. Instead, they talk about a few remedies that they consider the most valuable. And they are caladium in a 30X. That's one of my favorites. Now, I don't know if they have it in X or C, but it has, I said, it's one of my favorites. Lobelia. My friends, I like lobelia for any time we have smoke in the lungs. So I talked about lobelia when we were concerned about the smoke coming from the Canadian fires. And so we think of lobelia for when there is smoke. So when you're asking me about chewing tobacco, then I would not necessarily consider lobelia because it has more to do with lungs and smoke than it does with bloodstream and chewing and going into the stomach. So I like lobelia. It's lobelia inflata. Because it's you can imagine how the lungs must inflate. And boron talks about using caladium, as I said, lobelia inflata 6C. And then they also talk about, which I love, is nux vomica. Across the board, in case you have not noticed, the ailments from being addicted to something. The remedy that we use for ailments from addiction often, not always, but often includes nux vomica. We almost always need nux vomica. And so, nux vomica, 30C, is what boron is also recommending as part of their little I think they're calling it kind of a package, it's not a combination medicine. They're not all mixed together like Dr. Reckewig's. So I like nux vomica, particularly when someone is craving, when they can't smoke, they eat. It's a craving for food or just needing to eat or putting something in the mouth, overeating, eating stimulating foods, maybe having an alcoholic drink, maybe having too much coffee. Too much of something that has that's over the top. Over the top meaning substance abuse and overuse of something that shouldn't be eaten too much of. Too much chocolate, too much alcohol, too much food in general, just overeating. So that's nux vomica. And so when someone has that craving to eat when they're trying to quit smoking, and if they also happen to have irritability, nux vomica, my friends, and I would use that in a 30C. I'm going to put this all together for you in a minute. I'm going through each one, but I want to break out down each one and then tell you how we're going to use this. The next medicine that I really like for this that boron is including in their their assessment of what to consider is Ignatia. Now, I have to tell you that Ignatia, I use it in a 200C almost uniformly. But for this situation, I would use it in a much lower potency. I would use it in a 30C, for example. But I tend to think of Ignatia more, I don't want to say that this is only a woman's remedy. Ignatia can be helpful to men too. But when someone feels overly sensitive, when they are nervous, and they are, particularly when they're nervous and oversensitive, as they get off of the tobacco habit, then I think of Ignatia. So I'm not going to say Ignatia every time. I'm going to say more often for a woman who needs to get off of this habit. And the next one is Argentum nitricum. Again, 30C, not very high potency, rather on the medium-low side. And Argentum nitricum is very specific for when someone feels nervous and hurried because of it. Yes, 3 times a day. Yes, ma'am. Same thing, 3 times a day. Now, when we put this all together, the way Boron is presenting it, I like what they've done. They've done it online. I would automatically go with caladium if we had the sexual aspect of it, and maybe we could still consider it if that wasn't a component, but nonetheless, it's certainly number one of the bigger considerations. I absolutely would consider Nux vomica across the board. So we would use Nux vomica 30, 3 times a day. I would also very much consider lobelia if it's cigarette smoke, 3 times a day in a 6C, and Ignatia amara if it's in a 30C if it is a woman. Last one is Argentum nitricum if there's nervousness or a sense of hurriedness. Now, the person who's suffering from this, so that means we could take as many as 5 remedies. What did I say? Caladium, lobelia, Nux vomica, Ignatia, Argentum nitricum. I don't think it's necessary to take all 5. And I would actually discourage people from taking all 5. I would like them to choose the medicine that most closely represents what's going on. So of all of these medicines that I've read to you, caladium, lobelia, Nux vomica, Ignatia, Argentum nitricum, I want you to look them up in your Materia Medica and read up on them. And if they seem to fit, use maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them. I would not use all 5. Again, most important, in my estimation, if it's cigarette smoke, it's lobelia, and then also Nux vomica. Those are the top biggest ones. Yes, Nux vomica is the most important in my estimation. Now, let me tell you a little bit about boron. Boron, B-O-I-R-O-N is the pharmacy. If you go to Boron USA, if you're in the USA, boronusa.com, unfortunately, I don't know the codes in other countries, but you might try, even if you're in New Zealand or South Africa or wherever you might be, try going to boronusa.com. And when you order these medicines, then when you go to checkout, they'll ask you for a coupon code, and instead of a code, all you're going to do is write my name, Joette, Joette, and you'll get a 20% discount. Now, I'm going to remind you, I say this all the time, I do not get kickbacks. I don't want kickbacks, because if I did get some kind of a kickback, I might be persuaded to tell you to buy 10 remedies, and then I would get a kickback from 10 of them. Instead, I want to be as honest as I can, and I have no affiliate program with any pharmacy. I encourage people to consider using these pharmacies because I trust them, and I want you to be able to trust what I say, because unlike conventional medicine, I prefer to make this as pure as possible. I'm just going to give you the information because I want you to have the information. So the potency, somebody is asking for the potency for Argentum nitricum, and it's a 30C, and again, 3 times a day. Yes, my friends, There we go. Thank you, Leanne. Yes, there we go. Smoking symptom relief kit from Boron. I'm really pretty much reading from their site. I like the way they laid this out. I think makes it super easy to do. But again, there's a Dr. Rackeweg from Germany, Stop and Quit Smoking, Anti-Craving and Detox. You can look that up. So that's Dr. Reckeweg, Reckeweg, from, it's a German company, German homeopathic pharmacy, and I believe it's called Stop and Quit Smoking. So you could also use that. And then you use it in drops, and they're already mixed in advance. Yep, there we go. Yep, so please like, share, comment, and subscribe, my friends. We want to get more people to learn about this. How often? Nux vomica, I just said earlier, just so you know, all of them are 3 times daily. Is that what Dr. Reckeweg's site says? It's 3 times daily. I would do any of them 3 times daily. Because when someone wakes up and they have a craving for tobacco, smoking, and even chewing, it's going to probably get to them in the morning, and then in the middle of the day, and then just before bed. And if you can keep that going, then by all means, because you're breaking it up into 3 segments of the day, there's a better chance of it acting. Do I still trust Helios? You bet I do. I trust Helios in Great Britain, in the United Kingdom. Absolutely, I do. And these are the companies that I trust. I've already mentioned a few others. Washington, yes, even Highlands, even though they're manufacturing many fewer homeopathic medicines than what we were accustomed to seeing for many years. Hahnemann Pharmacy out in California. There are others, but these are the ones that I use most frequently. Can you have a Monday Night Live on shingles? So let me just tell you, it's a great suggestion. I'm going to be doing this subject of addictions for a while. And yeah, I will consider that. But should you be interested, I covered addictions in my course that you would go to Joette's Learning Center called Pain. The course is titled Pain because shingles is all about pain now, isn't it? It's really awful. And my friends, that course, I urge, for those of you who don't know about these courses, do go to Joette's Learning Center and look at my courses. It will up your understanding of homeopathy dramatically. So will joining a study group, Gateway to Homeopathy. That's also at Joette's Learning Center. It's valuable, my friends, to, yes, thank you, Pamela. I think there's also an old Facebook Live on shingles. I believe I have talked about it. Yes, thank you very much. But I go into greater detail in my pain course, and it's called Pain. And I want you to know that I believe that you understand, for those of you who have been doing this with others, study groups are like gold. To have a study group in your own neighborhood would be spectacular. But given the world in which we live today, sometimes that's not so readily available. Maybe your homeschool group is not interested. Maybe your church is not interested. Maybe your neighborhood is not interested. Your relatives, your friends, etc., may not be interested. So if you go to Joette's Learning Center and go to Gateway to Homeopathy, or you contact my office, we can set you up with a group that has already about to be started. Okay, if Ignatia is more of a woman's remedy, is there a counterpart that would fit more for a man? Well, certainly caladium, if there's any, as I said, sexual dysfunction, even in the smallest way, my friends. But for nervousness in a man, I always think of Nux vomica, although it's also good for women. So we're covered there. And also for if there's depression, then we're also going to be talking about Aurum metallicum. But I don't believe that Aurum metallicum fits in this particular situation. I think Nux vomica is a much better fit. Thank you, Leanne. Look at you, Leanne. You're just right there helping with all of these links. Thank you for doing this on addictions, Joe. The first protocol course I bought was a Mindful. Yes, Mindful Homeopathy is my other course, and that's all about the psychology of human psychology and animals. I mean, we're not the only ones who suffer from psychological problems. Certainly our dogs, our cats, a cow, even chickens. Absolutely. Thank you for writing this all out, Yana. Yeah, lobelia 6, caladium 30. Yes, you're laying it all out for us, which is suitable. Yes, use 2 to 3 times per day. You can use 2 to 3 remedies for quit smoking. Thank you, Yana. Nice job. Very well done. Thank you. If there's anger, we often look to Nux vomica, and that is one of my favorite medicines. As I said, across the board for all addictions, but particularly for cigarette smoking, tobacco chewing, any kind of tobacco use. Okay, thank you for doing this on addictions. Thank you very much for saying. Above link has the remedies she mentioned. Thank you. So I would say, folks, as I get off, and I'll be getting off in just a few minutes, when I get off, I'll leave this up and you can still communicate and look at what each other have written out to make it easier for you, especially for those who are new, because I understand that for many, this is so new that the medicine, when I go through the medicines, it's too many new words, Latin words, and I know that I speak quickly because I'm trying to get through a lot of information. Just looked on Washington's homeopathy product and copied this. Washington Homeopathic will be releasing 11 new and improved combination formulas in the fall of 23. Thank you for sharing that. Combinations will include colds and coughs, flu-like symptoms, fungus, hay fever, headache, hot flashes, sinus congestion, sleeplessness, smoking, stomach disorders, and stress. Be sure to keep an eye on our website, say those at Washington Homeopathic Products. And so, my friends, indeed do so. It's a good company. It's a good pharmacy. You can count on them. You can count on all of those that I have mentioned so far. At least, I mean, we never know. Things could always change. But I hold these pharmacies in the highest of regard. And it does matter. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's see. Any other questions? Forest Health still carries Unda. Unda's a good product. Yes, absolutely. SSRIs. Will I be doing anything on SSRIs? You know, that is in my two places will you find information more very deeply in my courses in Joette's Learning Center. If you go to Mindful Homeopathy and Toxic, my course on toxic, how to release people of the toxic responses from use of drugs, prescribed drugs. Do we worry about street drugs? Of course we do. I worry, I'm going to be honest, I actually worry more about prescribed drugs. At my age, I find it unique when someone in my age group tells me they're not on any drugs. It's almost unheard of. My age group usually has 3-4 drugs. They're usually on something for blood pressure, something for sleeplessness, something for hormone problems in women. So they're taking they're calling them, they make it sound like they're natural, but they are not natural, for hormones. And also there's just one, a little one, this or that, here or there. I take no drugs at 60. I use homeopathy. You bet, Lisbeth. You bet. So I'm drug-free. Look at you all. This group is the unusual group. But it is, me too, says Evelyn. Every time my mom goes for a checkup, the doctor is always so very surprised because she's not on any medications. I know. It's hard for them to believe. They say, what? Come on, what other medications are you on? So, yes, I only use homeopathy and supplements. No prescription drugs at all at 46. No drugs at all, 68. Totally drug-free, says Kathy. You bet. 77, thyroid, drug-free. 75, no drugs. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. I love to see this. Keep telling me. I love it. 64, no drugs. Me too, praise the Lord. 66, I'm drug-free, only on homeopathy and cupping therapy. Love, love, love homeopathy. Oh, Deb, you're so right about no supplements either. 73 and drug-free, Jean. You go. 76 and no prescription drugs. Listen, I'm supposed to go right now. We're already a minute over, but this is just too great. I don't take or use any drugs or meds at all. 73 years young and I'm on 0 medications. 57, 64, no drugs. 68, no drugs. 65, no drugs. 69. I have to tell you, my friends, you have just made my day. It's a beautiful thing to behold. Literally, 69, none, says Jalen. 61, no drugs. 84, and just about weaned off of blood pressure meds. Oh, my dear. Beautiful. These drug-free people are my people, says Pamela. Beautiful. 88, no drugs, says Susan, my mom and me. 57, no drugs. Ah, my God. God bless you all. What a great night. Thank you, my friends. I can't wait to see you all next week. God bless you all. Take care. Bye.
With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orm sperm wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orm sperm wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more infirm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, cali caponicum, let it melt down your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more infirm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, cali caponicum, let it melt down your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more infirm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, cali caponicum, let it melt down your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more infirm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, cali caponicum, let it melt down your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more firm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, cali caponicum, let it melt on your gumbo, beast to weed are some great ways to treat ya. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.